This is coral. These are coral. And coral is something that we refer to as an organic gem. Another organic gem that you know well are pearls. Also amber falls into that category. And ivory, bone, antler. Basically, what does it mean when we say organic? It means that comes from living material, or it was alive at one point, right? So this is the skeleton of coral that you find in the sea, as I'm dropping them, and has been used for a long, long time in jewelry. The earliest examples of jewelry were all organic gems. They were not gemstones like we think of, not minerals. They were seeds, and they were different things that were easy to pick up and modify to be worn. I love this. I love the fact that humans like to decorate themselves. And I like that basically once we crawled out of the tree, we figured it out and we started putting pretty things on ourselves, as we should. And coral is a personal favorite. I cannot say enough about how beautiful I think it is on the skin, how I love that it's appropriate morning, noon, or night. You can wear it literally to the beach. You can wear it to the finest dinner. It is always appropriate and almost always makes you look prettier and more beautiful, which I think is just a fantastic thing. I mean, you can wear this when you're a little girl and you can wear it when you're an old lady. So anyway, there's different colors of coral, which is kind of what I was trying to illustrate by putting these necklaces on. And you can go very, very pale, extremely pale. It looks like this. It's almost white. Sometimes they call it angel skin, but this is in an enamel ring with diamonds, and it's this very, very pale cabochon of coral. Here it almost looks like it could be anything, a button of anything, but when you see it up close, it's very pale pink, extremely glossy, really pretty. And then you get a little bit lighter, a little bit pinker, like this. And look at this. This is just so glossy. So this is the very pale. You're starting to pick up a little bit of color. I have this bracelet. I brought this out because you can see that coral is very easy to carve and to inlay and put it in pieces of jewelry. And then I have these two bracelets, which I think are very cool. One's the parrot, he's got a coral beak, and then the elephant that has a coral neck. And I also have this pretty piece. It's also a ring. It's more like a band. See how low it's set? And this is also angel skin coral, that very pale coral, and it's kind of in a mosaic pattern. And then this is what oftentimes you call oxblood. I want you to notice with these beads how absolutely mirror-like the finish is. This is excellent coral. This is a completely different, higher category than what you normally see. Coral can be treated, it can be bleached, it can be turned golden, it can be turned black, it can be turned blue. Sometimes it happens in nature, very rarely. I think blue is always dyed. In this stuff, sometimes you get a color like this and they dye it, maybe to make it a more even color. But these are all natural, right? This is the way nature intended, and it has its own beauty. But when you see coral that's cheap, it's cheap for a reason. Stuff like this is not cheap. It is expensive. It is extremely hard to find. Most coral comes from the Sea of Japan. Some comes from the Mediterranean. But really you have to have a certain hardness and a depth to the coral when it's growing to actually grow hard enough and even enough. And when you're looking at it as a gemologist, you're looking to make sure that you can see growth patterns and organic like signposts in the stone so that you know it's not dyed or that it's plastic. All of these are natural. Some of them are very expensive. And again, we find it in all sorts of jewelry, and we want it to be in all sorts of jewelry. And something like this is more elaborate and maybe for evening, but all of these beads, when you get a bunch like this, right, you call it a torsade. It's extremely wearable.